guys, now we're moving on to the hinge part. So for our hinge, you will need a sheet of paper that measures 9 1/8 by 12, okay? And you're going to go ahead and lay it on your scoreboard on the 12-inch side, okay? And we're going to go ahead and score. So I'm just going to grab my score tool. And the first score mark you're going to make, and I have my little directions here. So, because I wanted to make sure that everything worked out. We're going to have, because I already did one before, of course, it's just my example. And, but we're going to have a 1/2 inch, almost like a 1/2 inch gusset. Okay. And that's just because we're going to be doing signature, a little, I guess is what they call signatures, or like when you do a lot of flips and things like that in our pages. So that way, you know, for our photos and such. So pockets and things. So we're going to go ahead and start off, and you're going to go ahead, measure, score at 2. Okay. So score at 2 inches. And then you're going to go ahead and score at 2 5/8. Oops. I almost messed up, you guys. So 2 5/8. And this score tool doesn't really work that well, so I may alternate between. Okay, and then 3 1/8. Okay, so 3 1/8. And then 3 5/8. You're going to score at 4 1/4. 4 3/4, 5 1/4, 5 7/8, okay, 6 3/8, 6 7/8, 7 1/2, 8, 8 1/2, and 9 1/8. Okay, and this is going to give you 4 pages. Okay, so this hinge, we're only doing 4 pages. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take these back. Okay, and then you're going to go forward. Okay, kind of like you're doing a fan, and then you're going to go back, and you're just going to keep doing that all the way down, kind of like a little fan. Then forward. Okay, and then back, and then forward. And I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward through this part. You're going to keep going forward and back and forward and back and forward and back. Okay? So you should have something that kind of looks like, you know, a little accordion or a little something like that. Okay, so now what you're going to do is to make it more pliable, okay, we are going to go ahead and grab, so you're going to count in, okay, and on the 3rd score line, you're going to bring that together, okay, and you're just going to flip that back and forth. Okay, and then after you do that, you're going to lay that flat, and then you're going to count again, okay, and on the 3rd score line, you're going to bring that up again. So you're going to go from here, because this is your mountain, okay, and you're going to go here and go 1, 2, and let me bring, maybe I need to bring it in just a bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so here's our little mountain. Okay, that's the 3rd. This is the 3rd score line here. Okay, once you bring that mountain in, then you're going to count this score line, and you're going to go 1, 2, 3, form another mountain, bring that in, okay, and really, fold that down really, really good, okay, just like that. So there is 2 hinges, all right. Then you're going to go ahead and lay that down. Count again. 1, 2, 3. This is your 3rd score line. You're going to go ahead and bring that in. Okay. Flip it over. Score it in really, really good. Okay. And I flip mine like all over the place because I want to make them really pliable, really flexible, so your pages have no problems turning or anything like that. So that's what you're going to do there. So there's 3, okay? And then you're going to go ahead and count again, 1, 2, 3, and this is your last one, okay? And again, you're just going to go ahead and burnish that down really, really good, okay? This right here will be folded back. These 2 end parts, okay, for your first score line, these will actually fold back, okay, once we get all of these stuck down, and then you'll be left with a little hinge like this, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and put the tape on it. You're going to flip it over, okay? Once you flip it over, you see you have these like 3 bars right here. I call them bars. On each side of these bars is like a little valley. You're going to put, that's where you're going to put your tape, okay? So your tape is going to go inside of your valleys. So I'm going to use my 3/8 inch tape. Okay, I'm going to put that back in there. And I'll just go ahead and fast forward through this part. But I'm just going to go ahead and put my tape right in that valley, right in between those score lines, okay? And you don't need to put 2 tapes on either side. Just 1 is good enough. So there's 1, and I'm just going to fast forward. Okay, then once you're done putting all those tapes in, you're going to take off the tape backing, and you're going to go ahead and in those valleys, you're just going to fold that over. Since we already burnished it in, your line should be pretty good. It should line up pretty good. So you're going to go ahead and grab that other valley, bring that inward. Okay. Bring in the other valley here. Okay, and then bring in your last valley. Flip it over, and there's your hinges. So you have 4 hinges. Okay. And again, I go ahead and go forwards and backwards on them a few times just to make sure that they are very flexible. Okay, just like that. Alrighty, and if you have any glue that's sticking out like I have, or tape that's sticking out, you can definitely just grab your scissors and cut that excess off. Okay. just like that. Okay, so there we go. So the next piece we're going to do is once you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and tape these parts down. So where your first score line is, you're going to fold that back. Okay, so you're going to fold that back. You're going to put tape on the back of here. Okay. Again, you can use your glue if you want to, or your tape, whatever you want to do. And I'll probably just go ahead and put 3 little things of tape here. Okay. And then same on the other one. You want to go ahead and put some tape here. Okay. And I'm going to switch to my 1/2-inch tape. That way I can cover more. So now you're just going to fold that in. So this is going to go in like that. Just like that. And then you're going to go ahead and fold this one over. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Now you should have something like this. Okay. And then you can go ahead and burnish that in. Alright, so there we go. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and apply tape to the back of this here. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cover the inside before we put this down. So you're going to bring your book back over, okay, and we are going to go ahead and lay this down, and your binding system is going to be just like this, okay, and you're going to lay that down just like that. All right, now it doesn't go to the edge of your spine here, and that's okay. I like to have a little bit more room when I'm putting my pages in. I just feel like it gives you that added extra space that you need for, like, if you want to add flowers or whatever to the front of your pages or whatever. And so we're going to go ahead and also I got my pages out, what I want to decorate with, and I'm going to go ahead and I picked out 2 of these. Now remember, for this this album, you will need 2 sets of the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Christmas paper set. So whatever you're using, whether, if you want to, you can combine 2 12 by 12 paper packs together, or you can use the same paper pack. That's what I'm doing, and you can use those. But you will need 2 paper pads, 12 by 12, okay? So just letting you know that that's what I'm using. So just wanted to clarify that. And I'm going to go ahead and use this guy here. And I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And we will be cutting them down anyway from here. So, oops. let me zoom out. Sorry. I forgot. I was zoomed in. So here I have two pieces of paper that are this from the Simple Vintage Christmas, and they're the same. So we're going to be cutting these down. So you will need to cut them down to 9 3/8 by 12. Okay, so that's what we're going to leave it. Okay, so I cut my papers down to 9 3/8. Okay, and I'm just lining them up on the edge, and I'm giving myself about 1/8 of an inch, an 1/8 of an inch border around my paper here. So, or yeah, so. And I think that's going to work out just great, just fine. So 9 3/8 by 12 is what you want to cut your papers at, okay? And we're going to stick these on. And before I stick these on, I'm going to go ahead and use my Memento ink, and I'm going to go ahead and ink my papers, okay? Okay, so I went ahead and inked my edges of my paper, and I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but looks really pretty. I like that color. So anyway, so okay, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put tape on the back of these, or actually I'm going to use my glue, I think. I use the glue. So use the glue, and I'm just going to go ahead and stick it on here. I hate using this little Santa dude. I wanted to use him on something else, but we have a lot of Santas, so I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on him, and I'm just going to stick this down, and just making sure that I'm leaving a good, a nice border around here. So I'm just going to stand up. Make sure it's on there straight. Just like that. Okay. And that will go on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and burnish this in real good. Okay. All right. Okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and pop on over to this side and lay this one down here. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on this one. And I'm going to go ahead and lay this down, making sure it's even with my top, my other one I just laid down. And I'm just going to pull it over and leave a little bit of a border on that. Looks about right. Bring it up just a tad. Oops. It slid over just a bit. And that's one thing that I kind of do like about this glue. It gives you, with the art glitter glue, you don't have time to kind of, you know, make adjustments or anything like that. With this glue, you do. You have a little bit more time to kind of get it into place. So if you needed to maneuver it around, you have that little bit of time frame to do that. So it does make it a little bit nice. So, okay. All right, guys. So you've got that in place. And now I'm just burnishing it in. Just see a little bit of my excess out there. Okay. So I think I might be having a little visitor today. So my granddaughter is over. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish this in, and then I will be right back. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put our spine, we're going to go ahead and put the hinge onto the spine. So to do that, you're just going to go ahead and take the tape off of your hinge, and you're just going to go ahead and line it up. Okay, and I can tell where my, you want to just put it right in between where your seams are for your book. Right in the middle of your spine there. So I'm just kind of gauging where mine is. Right there. And I'm just going to go ahead and burnish that down. So I'm just getting my little squeegee thing here, a little scraper, and I'm just going to go ahead and fold those out and just burnish that in real good. Okay, right in between everything, right there, all the way down, and then on this side. Okay, so yay, now we have our spine in. Okay, and our hinge, yay, is finished. All right, so then the next thing we're going to do is our pages. So the pages for this book are pretty simple. So what you're going to do is, for that you will need four 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. So for the 8.5 by 11 inch papers, you will need 4 of those. Okay, and then you will need 4 little 1-inch strips that are scored down the middle. Okay, so you will need 4 of those, and I have 3 because I have 1 finished already. So when we get done with our papers, okay, I'll show you what we're going to do. All right, so when you have your 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, you are going to cut them down at 9 by 8.5. Okay, so the 8.5 inch side is right here. Okay, you are going to put your hinge on that bottom part of the paper, on the left hand side. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that. So you're going to go ahead and just get your glue. Now you can use your tape or your glue, whichever you prefer. I'm just going to use my glue, and I'm just going to put my glue right there on the edge of my, just on one side of that hinge. okay, just on this side. And you're going to stick your 8.5 side down on that hinge. So it looks like this, okay? So now remember, you are sticking that part down. Your 8.5 piece is going to be this way. So let me go ahead and measure this one. This one should be 8.5. So your 8.5 side is this way. Okay, so your 8.5 side should be laying this way. Okay, and you're going to stick that hinge right here. Okay, you're going to fold that 1-inch hinge that you scored at a 1/2 inch. Okay, and then you're going to cut it at 9 inches. Okay, so it's 1 inch by 9. You're going to put your glue onto one side of that hinge only. Okay, and then you are going to go ahead and put it on that 8.5 inch side, and it's going to be on that left hand side. Okay, and just going to go ahead and put it right in that seam. Okay, right in that seam, just like that. Okay, so that is how you're going to do that, and you're going to make 4 of those. All right, so I have 2 already made. I just have 1 more to make. Again, I'm just measuring the 8.5 and fold. So this part, you can use your 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper for this part. For the other pages, you will need 8 12 by 12 pieces of paper. Okay, so there you go. So now we have 4 of these made. Okay, and you're going to put those off to the side, and then now we're going to go ahead and start on our pages. And for your pages, you are going to need you'll need 8 altogether, because you're going to have 4 pages in your book. So you'll need 8 12 by 12 sheets of paper. Okay, 1 for your front page, and then 1 for the back page. And then we're going to go ahead and put them together, and then put our little inserts inside, okay, that we just did. Okay, and so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and grab 1 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Okay, and you are going to go ahead and cut that at 9 1/4 by 9 1/4. Okay, and for this, you'll need 4 of these. So you'll need 4 9 1/4 by 9 1/4 sheets. Cut. Alrighty, so 9 1/4 by 9 1/4. Okay, so you'll need 4 of those, 9 1/4 by 9 1/4. Okay, so you'll need 4 of those. Okay, and then for the other part, your second 12 by 12, now this is going to be the part where we put the 9 1/4 on top of it. Okay, and where our insert is going to go into our pocket. These are going to be cut at 10 1/4 by 10 1/4. Okay, so 10 1/4. So cut it at 10 1/4. Okay, by 10 1/4. All right, and then what you're going to do is get your scoreboard. Okay, and on one side you're going to score 1 inch on one side only. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and get your tool and score 1 inch on one side only. Okay, and you can score it on your left side, that's fine. And then you're going to turn it over on the other side, and you're going to score a 1/2 inch on this side here. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and turn it and then score another 1/2 inch. Okay, so you want a 1/2 inch on each end. Okay, so you're going to have a 1/2 inch. If you want, you can go ahead and score it at 9 3/4 is where you're going to have your score mark. So you would have a score mark at a 1/2 inch and then one at 9 3/4, and then you would have a 1 inch score line on one side. Okay, so it should look something like this. Okay, where you have 2 1/2 inch score lines and one 1 inch score line on the bottom. Okay, and then this is going to be your top. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and fold these in. Okay, and you just want to burnish them down really good. Okay, and then fold your 1 inch inward, and you're going to go ahead and burnish that in really good. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to cut off the 2 little tabbies here at the bottom part. Okay, and you can go ahead and just you can angle in just a bit. Okay, you do want to angle in just a bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. Okay, I think I'll go ahead and angle this one in just a bit. All right, and then what we're going to do is this piece is actually going to go under these pieces here. Okay, here you're going to go ahead and do your score tape. So if you wanted to, you can put these flaps out, and then just grab your 3/8 inch score tape and run that right here on each of these little tabs we just did. Okay, you do not want score tape or glue on this 1 inch part. Okay, do not glue that down. Okay, so there we go. So now you can go ahead and push these back in again. Okay, and you can grab your 9 1/4 inch by 9 1/4 inch paper, and you're going to put this on top of here. Okay, this flappy thing is going to go inside. Okay, so this will be underneath these tabs. So you can remove your tape. If I can remove my tape. All right, and so you're going to make sure that's underneath there. Okay, and the best way to do that is to go ahead and start down here. So attach your paper here, corner to corner. Okay, and then attach it all the way down. And just make sure it's on that end, okay? This is the easiest way that I kind of figured out how to do it. Okay, now you have it like this. So you're still going to make sure that this is underneath, okay? And you're going to grab your other tab, and fold that inward, grab the tape off, okay? Just like that. Grab the 9 1/4 by 9 1/4 inch sheet. Okay, again, you're going to go ahead and fold that in. Make sure that that little thing is underneath there. Grab your corner, okay, and just kind of, you want to go ahead and just make it flat. Make sure it's corner to corner. And just flatten it out. And there is your pocket, okay? Now, the reason why we have this little lip thingy right here is because your insert is going to catch on there. So when you put your insert in, this little tabby right here is going to catch on this little tab. So this actually is your front of your pocket, okay? So, and this part where there is no tabby or anything, this is actually going to go into your hinge, okay? So when you put your insert in, this part is going to catch on this little guy, okay? So you want to make sure that's tucked in there. Have your tab on your insert or your pull-out page facing downward, okay? Or if you do it upward, whatever you want to do. You want to make sure that your little sheet, your little tab is going to be all the way inside. So just like this, okay? So that's exactly how you're going to do it. And you're going to just pull it through. Okay? You're just going to pull that through and work it through. It will fit, I promise. And it's going to latch onto that little latch in there. It will not come out unless you take it out, okay? Once you get this inside of your hinge, it's not going to, you would have to actually get your fingers in there and fold this out and have it come out, okay? But this is what your page is going to do, okay? Just like this, okay? And we are going to make a little tab pull up here, so you can use, you know, we're actually going to use some of the really pretty stickers and some of the chipboards to have our pullouts, okay? So you're going to need to make 4 of those, okay? So again, your little tab, see how it latches? It's going to latch. It's going to hook onto that little tab that's in there, okay? And you're going to make 4 of these, okay? Just like that. So you're going to make 2 more, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and finish my pages, and then I will be right back.